everyone, my name is Marin Guevara. A huge hello and a huge thank you to everyone who is just clicking on this video. For those who are new to this channel, here we talk about books, movies, and more. So to everyone, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber, thank you very much for watching. Your viewership is always greatly appreciated. So today I thought I'd do a haul video. It is twofold because I'll be showing you guys the things I got from my recent trip to Sweden, but then also show you a bit of a book haul. Some books I did accumulate before my trip. So yeah, this is a Sweden/book haul type of video. Without further ado, let's now get on with the haul. So in this first part of the video, I'm going to show you the items that I did get from Sweden. So the first one that I have here is this cute little crochet bag that I got at a cellar stall from Skansen. I made a lot of use of this on the way back home. This is where I stored my phone. So Skansen, for those who don't know, is an open air museum in Stockholm. And it's highly recommended that you go there on a bright, beautiful, sunny day because it is open air. And it's described as an open air museum, but honestly, it's the size of it. It's like a theme park. Honestly, I mean, just look at the size of it. And there were animal exhibits. There are a lot of historical structures, historical Swedish structures like farmsteads, churches. It's just beautiful and a perfect place for honestly just field trips. Now, this next item I also got at Skansen, and I saw these all over Stockholm. And I made a promise to myself that I'm going to get this. I will not leave Sweden without one of these. And it is a dollar horse. So the dollar horse is a very famous image in Sweden. I mean, when you see it, you immediately associate it with the country. And yeah, if I had to have one souvenir, I'd have to choose the dollar horse. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Red is the traditional color. However, I did see plenty that were, orange and purple and blue. But yeah, I wanted the red one. I love it. It's so cute with the white and the green. I love how it's hand painted as well. These were a bit expensive wherever I was looking for them. However, at Skansen, I found one for a pretty good price. So yeah, very happy to have left Sweden with a dollar horse of my own. Now we move on to books because naturally, if I'm going to go to any place, I'm going to visit the bookstore there. So I went to two bookstores while in Stockholm. One of them was called Akademi Bokhandeln, which translates to the academic bookstore. And while I was there, I picked up Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. Now, funnily enough, I actually started reading The Buried Giant years back. However, I ended up DNFing it. At the time, I just wasn't feeling it. I ended up bouncing off of it. I believe I felt it was just a tad slow for me. But you know what? I think I was just in the wrong headspace at the time. Because sometimes that happens. It happened with Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. I read that a while back, wasn't feeling it, but then came back later and ended up loving it. It became one of my favorite books of that year. And I have a feeling that's going to be the same scenario for The Buried Giant. This takes place, I looked online, it said like post-Arthurian time. Basically, it's, the Roman Empire fell, the Romans left, you have Arthur coming into power, and I think this is after Arthur's, around that time period where the Anglo-Saxons and the Normans, they're living together, and the land is shrouded by mist and rain and this feeling of forgetfulness. And then we're following a couple, this elderly couple named Axel and Beatrice, who one morning remembered that they had a son, and they haven't seen him in years. So they go on this journey out to this land to look for this long-forgotten son. I have a feeling that, once again, I'm going to enjoy this one the second time around. As for the second bookstore that I visited, I made an admission to go there, definitely because two friends from Instagram told me about this place that, you should definitely visit. And it's called the Science Fiction Bokhandeln, or the Science Fiction Bookstore, in Gamlestan in Old Town. And here is the bag that they gave me. And here are the books that I got. So the first one was an addition to my British Library Tales of the Weird collection, and that is Weird Woods, Tales from the Haunted Forest of Britain. So this was on my to-get lists. So I am familiar with some of the authors like Algernon Blackwood, Arthur Machen, M.R. James, but there are plenty here that I have not read yet, and Creepy Woods, what's not to like? I also picked up an SF Masterworks while I was there. Unfortunately, they didn't have any John Crowley, or I would have gone deep. The only one that was on my to-get list that they had in stock was The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. I read The Stars My Destination last year, really enjoyed it, and I wanted to read more Bester, and I've heard people recommend this as well. So this one is described as sort of like pulpy science fiction thriller. It takes place in a future where the police have telepathic powers, and you're following this man named Ben Reichs, who is the head of this huge business empire, and he really wants to bump off his rival. However, that's going to be hard to do because, the police have telepathic powers. So I believe this book is about orchestrating the perfect crime and seeing if Ben can get away with it. And then, this is probably my favorite book that I got from Sweden, and that is Vaesen. So this is Spirits and Monsters of Scandinavian Folklore, collected and illustrated by Johan Egerkrans. I'm a huge fan of watching playthroughs on YouTube. It's basically, substituted my TV viewing. And two games that have stuck around with me are Bramble the Mountain King and Unforgiving a Northern Hymn, both of them heavily inspired by Scandinavian folklore. And the creatures and bosses in those games are featured in this book. So I'm going to show you some illustrations because this is a beautifully illustrated book. So here we have Necken, who is this water spirit, often a man playing a fiddle that can lure people. You have the Skogsra, the woodwife. She's a sort of forest spirit. Pesta, the embodiment of the Black Death or plague. And there's just so many others. Just beautifully illustrated. They had several more. So they had a Norse gods one, and I was debating with myself which one to get because these are pretty expensive. I was debating whether to get Vaesen or the Norse gods, and I ended up leaving with Vaesen because I am pretty much familiar with the major stories surrounding the Norse gods, and I'm not so much knowledgeable about Scandinavian folklore, so I decided to just get Vaesen. And honestly, if I had to leave Sweden with one of them, I'm glad it was Vaesen, but I really want to get Norse gods. I also got two items from the SF Bokhandeln that weren't books. So I got this Necken postcard. Once again, I don't know why I'm so drawn to this creature, but here it is. I also got a pin by Fifal. I'm familiar with Fifal's work, and I had no idea that they were selling her pins there. So picked this one up. And lastly, from my Swedish haul, I missed this. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I got a postcard, but it was at the airport right before we left Stockholm, and it's of Gamla Stan. And yeah, I'm a fan of Gamla Stan. This is, as I mentioned, where the SF Bokhandeln was. A lot of beautiful cafes there. Ate princess cake there, my official favorite dessert. Love princess cake, so good. Ruined cake for me, honestly. But yeah, so that is the conclusion of part 1. And now we'll move on to the second part, which is some more books. So the first two are gifts from book friends. So the first one is By Blood, by Salt by J.L. Odom. This actually won the most recent Spiffbo contest, so congratulations, J.L. Odom. This was gifted to me by Tori Tekken from Tori Talks. Huge thank you, Tori. She got it from my Amazon wishlist. And yeah, looking forward to this one. I know it's military fantasy, and while that isn't necessarily a subgenre of fantasy that I constantly reach for, I've heard nothing but praise for By Blood, by Salt. Tori, obviously, because she's spreading the word of this book, but also I heard that Philip Chase really enjoyed it as well. So yeah, looking forward to trying out By Blood, by Salt. And the second gift was from Matt, and that is Fearsome Fairies. Thank you, Matt. So these are haunting tales of the Fae, also from my wish list. And yeah, these are all just stories that deal with the Fae. Not the Fae we know from like romantasy or anything like that, but sort of like the older Fae, the more mischievous, darker type of Fae. And this is part of the British library. It's sort of like a sister, like a hardcover sister collection to the British Library Tales of the Weird. So yeah, this one features a lot of different authors: Charlotte Riddle, Arthur Machen, J.M. Barrie, Emma James, Algernon Blackwood, Angela Carter. Plenty of people I have read from, but then some people I've never read from. The next book is a purchase from eBay, and that is Mockingbird by Walter Tevis. This is the Bantam mass market paperback edition that I've been wanting to get. Just beautiful cover, and I do love owning several editions of my favorite books. And yeah, Mockingbird is one of my favorite books. In fact, one of my first videos here on YouTube was talking about Mockingbird, along with several other science fiction works. But yeah, this is a first edition mass market paperback, and this one does come with step back art, which I really, really love. So yeah, I'm glad to see more people talking about Mockingbird, you know, spreading the word. I know that Ramble Broadcasting, Criminale have both done videos sort of, you know, singing this book's praises. So it's not just me. Don't just listen to me, listen to them as well. Check out Mockingbird if you haven't. Great work of sort of like dystopian sci-fi. So the next one I got from Penguin Books, that is The Crypt of the Moon Spider by Nathan Balingrud. This is the first book in a trilogy called the Lunar Gothic Trilogy. And this one I picked up because it's been described as, you know, very atmospheric, bit of weird fiction. I've heard people say it's like unsettling. It really gets under your skin. And with such a short amount of pages, that really appealed to me. So this is Gothic, but it's also science fiction, a bit of alternate history as well, because it takes place in the 1920s, but people can journey to the moon. So in this book, on the moon, there is this sort of ancient forest, and in it there lived a gargantuan spider. And it said that the silk can grant powers to people that sort of take it. And our main character, Veronica Brinkley, is being taken to this institute, the Bearfield Home for Treatment of the Melancholy. And apparently one of the treatments there is to inject the patients with this spider silk or something like that. Next we have The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. I picked this one up because it is historical fiction, but it's also Gothic. And I've heard people say that it's genuinely creepy. Here we're following a woman named Elsie who has recently gotten married. She's pregnant. However, her husband tragically dies soon after, and she's taken into his estate where she is basically received coldly, and she only has like one companion, her husband's cousin. And while she's there, she discovers this room, this hidden room, where a wooden figure resembling herself sort of awaits her. Next, we have The Mechanical by Ian Tregellis, and I completely blame Alan from the Library of Alexandria for this purchase, along with Sam from iSamWise, because he also did a video talking about the trilogy, this trilogy being The Alchemy Wars and The Mechanical being the first book. This is an alternate history where you have the Dutch Calvinists and the Catholics at war with one another, and the Calvinists are winning because they have created the clackers, these sort of like automatons that can do their bidding. And this is very much a book that deals with religion and free will, all that jazz. And I don't know, just the way that the discussion was going on the Discord, you know, seeing Sam's video kind of really was the tipping point for me to check out this book. So yeah. And lastly, we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. Thank you, Kevin. I got this book from him, and Evie from She Was Only Evie was the one who recommended me to read this. This is also part of my 12 books to read for 2025 challenge. It's on the shorter side, and you know, it's Evie. She got me to read the Gormenghast trilogy, so hopefully this will be another winner of a trilogy. So I don't know much about it. I just know that it is inspired, I believe, by Russian folklore. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, so that was my collective haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know down in the comments, you know, have you read any of these books? Have you visited Sweden? And if so, where did you go? I'm very happy with the trip. I am very grateful to have been able to go, and you know, I would love to visit in the future, see that beautiful country again. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!